if it is going to be close, by the way, if it's like going to be a razor-thin close election, then I'm pretty sure Kamala will win because they will cheat, they will fortify it, they will steal the ballots, and so you know if we can, and so then in the event that it's close, I don't want to be involved. In the event that it's not close, I don't need to be involved. And so that's sort of a straightforward analysis right there.
Great jumping off point. How much cheating on a percentage basis do you think happens every year? How much, and do you think Trump actually won the last time?
You need to be careful with the verbs. So, you know, cheating, stealing, that implies something happened the dark of night.
Massaging.
I think the verb you're allowed to use is fortify.
We don't want to get canceled on YouTube.
Ballot harvesting. I mean, it was, you know, it's all sort of, there were all these rule changes. It was sort of done in plain daylight. And but yeah, I think our elections are they're not perfectly clean. Otherwise, we could examine it. We could have vigorous debate about it.
Well, what would you change then? What should change? Because we all want everybody's votes to count. We want it to be clean. I'm talking about the audience here.
I don't know. At a minimum, you'd run them. You'd try to run elections the same way you do it in every other Western democracy. You have one-day voting. You have practically no absentee ballots. You have and it's, you know, it's one day where everything happens. It's not this two-month elongated process. That's the way you do it in every other country. You'd have some somewhat stronger voter ID, and you know, make sure that, you know, the people who are voting have a right to vote.
Make it a national holiday.
But that's basically what you do in every other Western democracy, and it used to be much more like that in the U.S. I mean, it's meaningfully decayed over the last 20, 30 years. You know, 20, 30 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, you got the results on the day of the vote, and that sort of stopped happening. I think Silicon Valley is always very bad at talking about it. It's like, you know, what does it mean to be a human being?
Right.
Sort of the stupid 2022 answer would be that humans differ from all the other animals because we're good at languages. If you're a 3-year-old or an 80-year-old, you speak, you communicate, we tell each other stories. This is what makes us different. And so yeah, I think there's something about it that's incredibly important and very disorienting. You know, the question I always have the narrower question I have as an investor is sort of how do you make money with this stuff? And
how do you make money?
It's pretty confusing, and I think I don't know. This is always where I'm anchored on the late '90s as sort of the formative period for me. But I keep thinking that AI in 2023, 2024 is like the internet in 1999. It's really big. It's going to be very important. It's going to transform the world, not in 6 months, but in 20 years. And then there are probably all kinds of incredibly catastrophic approximations where, yeah. Well, this is always one of the big picture and claims I have that we've been in an era of relative tech stagnation the last 40 or 50 years, or the tagline that we had in our
and techno-negativism.
They promised us flying cars. All we got was 140 characters, which is not an anti-Twitter, anti-X commentary. Even though the way I used to always qualify it was that at least it was at least a good company. You had 10,000 people who didn't have to do very much work and could just smoke marijuana all day.
Very similar to Europe.
And so I think that part actually did get corrected, but the AI is quite good at the woke stuff, and so if you want to be a successful actor, you should be maybe a little bit racist or a little bit sexist or just really funny, and you won't have any risk of the AI replacing you. Everybody else will get.